4 weeks already. Well, I'm so excited to be here with you this morning and share more about the Lord as my shepherd. So before we get into our Bible story, let's check out our intro video.
Oh, hey, it's me again. Are you ready to learn from one of the most amazing chapters of the Bible? You remember what it is, right? Yeah, Psalm 23. I'm having so much fun memorizing this, and hopefully you are too. So let's quiz ourselves on what we've learned so far from the first 3 verses. The Lord is my shepherd. I have all that I need. He lets me rest in green meadows. He leads me beside peaceful streams. He renews my strength. He guides me along right paths, bringing honor to His name. Wow, you guys are doing so well. No doubt the Good Shepherd is excited about how much you are memorizing Psalm 23. So, let's move on to verse 4. Psalm 23 verse 4 says, "Even when I walk through the darkest valley, I will not be afraid, for you are close beside me. Your rod and your staff protect and comfort me." Have you ever felt afraid? There are a lot of things that make me feel afraid. Stuff like spiders, snakes, clowns. Hey, don't laugh. Clowns are weird looking. One thing that many people are afraid of, the dark. The dark can be a really scary place. Sometimes in the dark, our imaginations start to run wild, and we begin to think that there are scary things there in the room with us. It's not true, of course, but we think that way. The dark can be a very scary place. Sheep, they're no different than you and me. They don't like the dark either. And sometimes when the shepherd leads them through a dark valley, they can get a little scared. But the Bible in Psalm 23 says that you and I don't have to be scared. Even when we go through the darkest moments in life, we don't have to be scared because God, the Good Shepherd, is right there with us. Sometimes life's going well and you feel like you're high on the mountaintop. But other times, you're going through difficult moments and it feels like you're down in the valley. Well, no matter how dark your valley may seem, you don't have to be afraid, because you can know you're never alone. God is always with you. And that's exactly what you're going to learn about in your lesson today. You're going to learn through the story of Gideon how you don't ever have to be afraid, no matter how dark of a valley you might be going through. So get ready to learn some incredible stuff as you continue, The Lord is my shepherd. See you later.
Welcome back. Today, our Bible story is found in Judges chapter 6. It's a story about a man named Gideon. Gideon was a farmer. One of his jobs was to thresh wheat. To thresh wheat, you have to separate the good wheat from all the other stuff that grows in it. That is called chaff. Usually, this is done on what is called the threshing floor. However, when we look in Judges chapter 6, we find Gideon hiding at the bottom of a wine press. He is threshing wheat at the bottom of the wine press because he is scared of the Midianites. Midianites were enemies of the Israelites, God's chosen people. They would come and invade the Israelites and steal all of their crops and food. Gideon is hiding in the press because he is afraid. Have you ever been so afraid and wanted to run and hide? I think we all have. All of a sudden, an angel appeared to Gideon and said, "Mighty hero, go rescue Israel from the Midianites." Mighty hero? Why would the angel call him a mighty hero? That doesn't make any sense at all. Gideon is not a mighty hero, a mighty warrior, though. He is a scaredy cat hiding in a wine press. That doesn't make sense at all. But that's not where the story ends. Gideon responds to the angel. He says, I am the weakest in my family. How can I rescue Israel? I think most of you would agree with Gideon. He sure was acting like he was the weakest in his family. He was hiding out in a wine press so he wouldn't be seen threshing wheat. Gideon isn't the only person who has ever been afraid. You and I can be pretty scared too. Sometimes we face difficult times in our lives and all we can feel is fear. Just like Gideon, we probably feel like there's no way we can do what God is calling us to do. But something incredible happened next. The angel said to Gideon, God will be with you. Wow. The reason that Gideon didn't need to be afraid was because God was with him. Did you know that this is the same reason that you and I don't have to fear when we walk through the valley of the shadow of death? When you have the Lord as your shepherd, you can know that He will always be with you. That's exactly what we're going to learn in our lesson today. But before we go to our lesson, let's check out our power verse.
Shauna the sheep shearer. I am like a hairdresser except for sheep. I am here to teach you today's power verse. Now the power verse today is, even when I walk through the darkest valley, I will not be afraid, for you are close beside me. Your rod and your staff protect and comfort me. Psalm 23:4. Well, hot dog, what an absolutely fabulous verse. But you know what? I could use some help saying it. How about the girls stand up and say it with me? Are you ready? Go ahead and stand up, girls. On the count of 3. 1, 2, 3. Even when I walk through the darkest valley, I will not be afraid, for you are close beside me. Your rod and your staff protect and comfort me. Psalm 23:4. All right, girls, you did a wonderful job. Now you can sit down and I want all the boys to stand up and let's see if you can say it even louder. Are you ready, boys? 1, 2, 3. Even when I walk through the darkest valley, I will not be afraid, for you are close beside me. Your rod and your staff protect and comfort me. Psalm 23:4. You know, you guys did a great job. You can sit down. The other night, I was at the shop, and there was wool all over the floor, and I was there late cleaning all by myself, and I was sweeping up wool when all of a sudden, the power went out, and I was standing there in the dark, and I was so afraid. Guys, I'm not gonna lie to you. I was scared to death, and I didn't know what I was gonna do. But then I stopped, and I thought, okay, God, I know that you're with me always. Just give me peace right now. And do you know what? As soon as I thanked God for His presence, the lights came back on and I was reminded, I'm never alone. God is always with us. So I think it's important that we take another look at this power verse. Let's all stand up together and say it again. Are you ready? 1, 2, 3. Even when I walk through the darkest valley, I will not be afraid, for you are close beside me. Your rod and your staff protect and comfort me. Psalm 23:4. Great job, everybody. Go ahead and sit down. Sit down. You know, I have another sheep coming in just a few minutes for one of my world famous sheep hairdos. So I'm going to have to catch you next time. But don't forget, if you don't remember the power verse, that would be bad. I'll see you next time.
Today's lesson, walking through the valley. What makes you afraid? Spiders? Snakes? The dark? whatever it is, it's most likely it is nothing compared to some of the valleys that we go through in life. Sickness, disease, divorce, these are things that can really make us afraid. Our verse in Psalm 23 tells us that as sheep, we belong to God. We definitely will walk through our share of valleys. Problems come, and they can really make us afraid. When we find ourselves in a valley, it's important to remember the words of Psalm 23:4. It says, "Even though I walk through the darkest valley, I will not be afraid." Did you notice a very important word there? Through. It's important to remember that the dark valleys of our life are things we go through. They won't be in our lives forever. Our good shepherd is leading us through the dark valleys. We don't have to be afraid. Why? Let's look at these 3 reasons why we don't have to be afraid that are found in Psalm 23:4. The good shepherd uses his rod to protect us. Psalm 23:4 says, "Even though I walk through the darkest valley, I will not be afraid. For you are close beside me. Your rod and your staff protect me." This is what a shepherd's rod looks like. It's like a weapon. The shepherd uses it to swing against lions and bears and other wild animals that try to come and eat his sheep. The shepherd uses his rod to defend and protect his sheep. God protects and defends us against the enemy, the devil. God is more powerful than any stick, disease, bully, sadness, or any other issue that the devil will try to use to attack us. The reason we don't have to be afraid when we walk through the darkest valley is God has a big rod and he's not afraid to use it. Also, the good shepherd uses his staff to bring us closer to him. Psalm 23:4 says, "Even when I walk through the darkest valley, I will not be afraid. For you are close beside me, your rod and your staff will protect and comfort me." The rod protects, but the staff comforts. The staff has a curved end because the shepherd could use it to reach out and gently grab the sheep's neck and pull it close to the shepherd. When the sheep would get scared, the shepherd would pull them close to comfort them. That reminded the sheep of something that each of us must remember. You don't have to be afraid to fear. You are never alone. God is with you as you walk through the darkest valleys. It may feel like you're alone, but you're not. Remember that you have God with you, that you don't have to fear. When God is near, the fear disappears. Let me show you what I mean. You see this water? It's going to represent fear. Let me just drink a little bit of it so you know that it's really water. Now you see this cup? It's going to represent you and me. When we're going through the darkest valleys of life, sometimes fear comes in to our lives and fills us up. Fear comes into our lives and we feel as if we can't do anything about it. Suddenly, we're all full of fear and feel helpless. Here's what we do. Remember, you're not alone. We have to pray that God will pull us close to Him and comfort us. He will take that fear and completely make it go away. Isn't that awesome? You don't have to fear when you go through the darkest valley because you are never alone. Your good shepherd is always with you. So boys and girls, I hope you remember that when you go through things that are difficult, when you're fearful, that just reach out to God, that He will pull you close and give you the comfort that you need. I So miss you guys and can't wait to see you. Love you all. Bye.